to say, let's wait until there's a time when we can all get together and look at a big projector in town hall room and go through the slides. But
I tried to do that. I tried to do that the other day with a meeting for Parker Tavern. Somebody else wanted to meet down there. And they chose 1 o'clock on Sunday, 5 minutes before it started to rain.
Oh dear.
The most wet notes, but we got it done.
Good.
Hello.
I am sorry that Priscilla can't join us. I don't think she has the capabilities to join the Zoom program without someone there to assist her. Oh, there's Carl. That's good.
Hi,
Hi, Kyle.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right.
Wonderful.
Looks like you guys
All
probably
right.
have enough people.
So I sent the Zoom to Mr. Prendergast, and I emailed him today just to confirm, and he said he had it. So let me see if he sent me anything, if he had any trouble. I'm just going to shoot him a quick email to see if he's having any issues.
Also, Pino, his cell phone is on the application.
I'd have to run upstairs to get my phone. Does someone want to give him a ring, or I can go get my phone?
I'll call him.
Okay.
I'm buried in paperwork. Ugh. I don't even do anything.
So I guess Julie, I mean, should I go through the Zoom protocols or should I wait for him to get here? I mean, because I think we can start the meeting.
Yeah, why don't you get started? Oh, actually, hold on. Someone just entered the waiting room.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Why am I frozen? Nobody can hear me.
We can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you, Eileen.
Yeah, oh, you can?
Yep.
I'm kind of frozen.
You mean you're frozen or the internet's frozen?
Probably a little bit of each.
Yeah.
All right. So I see, hey, Mr. Prendergast, thanks for coming on. All right. So I will, all right. So I'll start the meeting. So my name is Pino D'Orazio, the new chair of the Historic District Commission. And I'm just going to start the meeting and go over some Zoom protocols, and then we'll go around the Zoom room over here so we can have the other commission members introduce themselves. Okay, so I'm just going to go over some Zoom protocols real quick. This will open. Hold on, I'm just opening it up. Okay, so obviously this meeting is being held remotely via Zoom. It is being recorded on RCTV, and it's also possibly being live streamed on RCTV on television. People will enter the waiting room and then be admitted by the host. Obviously, everybody here has made it past that checkpoint. We ask that everyone mute themselves unless you're acknowledged to speak by the chair or the host. And then applicants can unmute themselves at the time of their presentation. I also ask that people use the chat feature only for technical issues and not for private conversations. This could run afoul of open meeting laws. And you can also use the chat if you can't get your audio to function properly. We also ask that you use the raise hand feature. I think we have a a small enough audience to just raise your hand, and we'll see you. And also roll call votes will be conducted by the chair, myself, and then we will be using a screen share. Either Julie or myself will be doing that as we go through tonight. Okay, so with that, again, my name is Pino Durazio, and I will let's go around and we'll do some brief introductions. So we can start with Amelia.
Oh, I'm Amelia Devon Friedman, and I'm the vice chair.
All right, and then over to Everett.
I'm Everett Blodgett, former chair of the Historic District Commission. I am just on the board. On the commission.
All right,
Thanks.
and Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg Maganzini. I'm a member of the Historic District Commission.
And Eileen.
I have disappeared.
We can hear you.
Oh, all right. A member Historic District Commission. I'll try and get the audio back.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you're a little choppy, but we can hear you pretty good. All right, I can at least. All right, Virginia.
Virginia Adams, associate member.
All right, and then Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl Midnight, also associate member.
All right, and then Mr. Prendergast.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tom Prendergast. I live at 187 West Street.
All right, so I think somebody is, there's some echoing.
Me, it's me. I'm shutting off one of them.
Okay, great.
Are you guys expecting you might have someone else from the applicant?
Tom, do you have anyone coming as well?
No, just me.
Okay. Eileen might be Eileen, are you logged in to, are you the other Zoom user? Are you in twice?
That's what I was wondering. Thank you for reading my mind.
All right, I think she might be. Okay, so so we're here to discuss 187 West Street, an awning and an outdoor TV. So we did receive an application, and Julie, do you want me to share, or do you want to share your screen? I can share the.
If you're going to go through it and you have a certain pace and certain things you want to point out, it's probably easier if you screen share. But I can do it if that's better for you too.
It doesn't matter. This is probably going to be the only screen sharing except for the minutes.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Why don't you do it for this and I'll
Okay.
do them.
Okay, so I'm just going to pull up the application. So Mr. Pendergast, I'm just going to ask you to, give us a walkthrough of your application, your plans for your house. Let me just pull it up here. All right, can everyone see that okay? Good. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll to the picture. Okay, so I think this gives a good representation of what he's trying to do. So I will kick it over to you, sir, and please just walk us through your plans and if you have any insight into colors and material and so forth, and then we'll probably have some questions.
Yeah, sure. So this photo was taken from the sidewalk almost in front of my next door neighbor's house. The reason I took it from this angle is because it's really the only place you can really see it from the street. And I wanted to kind of give a visual representation of that. The awning will be a steel base or arms and everything, and then it'll be a fabric cover. It is retractable, so it'll only be extended when we're actually out there using it. In terms of color, it will probably be something that matches the house. We were thinking probably green or beige, whether it's solid or maybe stripes. It would probably be something very simple. My wife doesn't really want anything that sticks out. And the TV, as you can see, will sit underneath it. So I don't even think you'll actually be able to see the TV from the street when the awning is extended. I can't say that for sure, but that's what I think. Trying to think if there's anything else that you asked me to walk through. Are there any questions that you guys want me to answer?
Yeah, there's Pino. So can you just recap? So West Street is on the front facing part of the house?
Yeah, so you can see where the end of the gate is on the left side, those two little light posts.
Yep.
Or sorry, not light posts, lamps there's a door in between them. That's our front door.
Okay, got it. So this is the view from West Street.
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right, so I'll open it up to questions. Are you logged in are you the other Zoom user? All right, I see a lot of hands. Sorry, I was all right. So I'll Everett.
Yeah, Mr. Pendergast. Is this a request for 2 items or each item? Otherwise, if you didn't get the awning, would you want the TV? If you didn't get the TV, would you want the awning? Is it a 2-for-1 situation?
That's a good question. I actually hadn't even considered that, to be honest. It's probably a 2-for-1. I'd have to, I wouldn't want to answer that for sure without talking to my wife. But it's probably a 2-for-1, I would think.
Sounds like a smart answer with the wife not here.
Amelia?
Can you tell us something about the dimensions that we're talking about?
Sure. So the TV would be a 55-inch TV, which is measured from corner to corner. So you can see in the picture, it will be like right in front of the door that goes out to our deck.
Okay, I could do the math, but can you just tell me how tall and how wide we're talking then?
Yeah, sure. It's I don't know the exact dimensions off the top of my head. I think it's about 3 feet and change wide, and like 2.5 feet tall, I want to say. And then the awning would be 17 feet wide, and it would, at full extension, it would extend out 13 feet, which is just enough to cover the deck that's underneath it, which you can't really see in this photo because of the gate.
Greg.
Hi. Hey, the reason why I keep looking over there, because I'm looking right at your house. I live at 168 West Street.
Oh.
So I'm looking at the spot where you want to put the TV. So if you get the game on, I can watch it from here. Or a good movie, I could watch it from here too. A couple of things that are just popping up. The placement of the TV is going to be pretty high up there. You're going to really be cranking your neck to see it. And anyone driving down the street or your neighbors will easily be able to see it. Not that that's I don't know if that's a bad thing. And is it going to be a permanent TV? Are you going to always leave it out there? Are you going to take it in the winter or in the rain, or is it an outdoor TV?
Yeah, so in terms of the height, yes, it is a little bit higher than I would probably ideally like, but I wanted to get it in between those existing speakers and above the door. It's going to have a slight tilt downward on it. Like I think it's like 15 degrees or something, so it'll be a little bit easier to view from the deck. And then, sorry, your second question was what?
Is it a permanent, is it always going to be out there? Or is it outdoor TV? You can take it in the winter?
Yeah, it's intended to be an outdoor TV. And actually, circling back to Everett's question, we wouldn't be able to install the TV without the awning because it needs to have some sort of cover.
Some protection, sure.
Yeah.
Can I talk? I don't know if you can hear me or see me.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, well, when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm kind of concerned with what this is going to look like. I'm sure it has to go through the neighborhood to see the approval, but it's kind of turning it into a recreation area that's intruding on the neighborhood. That's my thought.
Okay. I mean, I'm not really sure how to answer that. In terms of in terms of calling it a recreation area, I mean, it's not going to be like commercialized or anything. It's really the main reason we're doing it is so that when my wife and I are outside with the kids, we can kind of relax and watch TV and you know, be out there and keep an eye on them.
Well, it just seems to me that there's a less intrusive way to do that. I would find that very intrusive if I lived next door. I would say, what is going on here? That's my thought.
Okay. In terms of the TV itself or the sound or?
All of it. You've got it up high. It's obviously going to broadcast through the neighborhood, whether you do it intentionally or not, just the logistics of it. And, you know, you're going to have this glaring screen going. Is there a limit to the hours you're going to put on it? Or suppose you like to hang out there in the evening in the summertime? I can understand you would. And if I was a neighbor, I would find that highly objectionable.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I would encourage you to take a drive or a walk by because it's really not visible from much of the street.
Well, it's not only the street. I mean, I'm talking about the neighborhood in general. I would think you have to have permission from the abutters, and I would wonder seriously if that's something that they would be in agreement with.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can stick an entertainment zone so in such an open area.
Okay. I mean, my understanding is that the abutters would need to approve this or at least have a chance to voice an opinion on it.
Correct.
As part of the process, correct?
Correct. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, for what it's worth, my neighbor 2 houses over, who's technically outside the historic district, has a television mounted on his garage that faces the house of the same house that ours would be facing. So I tend to doubt that they're going to object to it if they already have one in their view.
Okay, this is just my opinion. I would find it highly objectionable.
Virginia, did you have your hand up?
I think you're on mute, Virginia.
Virginia,
Sorry.
there you go.
I can
Am
hear
I
you.
okay now? Okay. This is just general questions. I noticed that the photograph shows that the awning goes over into the main house, or it appears to in the drawing. How much space is there? You said the dimensions were 17 feet. Does that just impact what I'll call the addition to the main structure? The addition being the higher roof elevation?
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. So the little addition where the front door is that what you're talking about?
No, not yet. I'm coming to that. The tall addition where the roofs intersect differently above the dormer.
Okay. So, sorry, I think I'm not understanding the question.
All right, then that whole facade, that whole side of the house, is that all at one level projection, or is the portion with the two upper windows and where the TV is going to be set back?
No, it's all the same. It's one straight shot.
Oh, okay.
And the end of the awning will, if you see that lower roof there on the left side in the front,
Yes.
the left side of the awning will come just short of the edge of that.
Okay. I too have very strong concerns about the impact to the historic district. It would be new type of fabric, is certainly visible from the roadway. I'm not sure it's compatible with the historic district. My only caveat might be that it is retractable. It could be taken down. It is, quote, reversible, which is one of the standards of the Interior, Secretary of Interior Standards Guidelines. However, I have great reluctance in supporting this until we have voices from the abutters. Now that causes a problem when we push our thoughts onto the abutters as well, because people want to live in relative harmony within their neighborhoods. So sometimes people are reluctant to give their true thoughts on this a project of this nature. So I just caution us on that. I guess you had answered all my questions that I had written down. Thank you.
Sure.
Amelia?
I suppose this would depend on the angle at which it's mounted on the house, but have you not considered that this could be potentially dangerous for drivers? This is a distraction to drivers, especially at night. I mean, would there be a way to tilt it away, not just down, but sort of away from the road?
Yeah, it'll be on an arm, I believe it's called. So yes, it's possible to change the angle of it and angle it more like towards the yard and away from the road.
So not only can it tilt down, but it can tilt from side to side?
Correct, yes.
Is the road in front of your house straight? Is it a curve?
It's straight. It runs parallel to the fence or the gate that you see in the front of the picture there.
I'm just gonna try to bring it up on the Google Street View. Can you just let me know when you see your house down here. Hold on.
So my concern is a traffic safety thing, I guess, that if someone is traveling down the road, I guess away from Woburn, is that right? So that you would be on their right-hand side. They're going to see that down the road farther going in the other direction, you won't see it. But I think it could be a driving distraction.
You're across the street from this, right?
You were just looking at my house a second ago when you first pulled it up.
Right there on the left.
Yep,
That's it.
Yep, you're looking at the front door there on the right side.
And that's the neighbors on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to go more to the right.
Behind all the trees?
Yeah, so you just behind those leaves, you can see that's my front door. On the right
Just on
side
the right
there.
of the tree.
So, is this completely obscured from the street in the summer?
No,
No,
No.
Okay.
If you go, yes, that way,
There.
exactly. That's a better view. So yes, from where you're standing right now, you would not be able to see it because it'll be behind that, that small addition where you see the front door. It won't be visible from where you are right now.
But Pino, if you move us down so that we're in front of the neighbor's house, what do we see?
go to the right,
Yeah,
Oops.
other way,
the other
other
way.
way.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's not letting me.
Yeah, these aren't the easiest thing to navigate. I've done this before.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna go this way. So let's see if it.
You might have better luck if you try to drag the little yellow guy in the bottom corner. Oh, actually, this is better.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
There.
Down more?
Yeah,
Yeah,
down-
more.
You're gonna need to go down a little more to see it.
Sorry, I'm on a MacBook with no mouse, so I gotta do it with my.
Yeah, so this, the photo I took is basically right from here. And you can't really see it because of the trees. So I guess that's another good point, is in the fall, you won't see it at all, really.
well, at night you'll see it. You might not be able to see it through the trees during the day.
No, I mean, when that tree has leaves on it.
Right, but if it's dark, you're gonna see the light through the trees, even if you can't see it. The images, you'll be able to see the light, right?
I can't answer that for sure one way or the other, to be honest. I would think so, but I'm not sure.
Everett, and then Greg, I think after had a question.
Well, just a couple of comments, because I am concerned about it as traffic, and I don't know whether that's really under our jurisdiction or not, but as traffic coming down through there, you're only one more house and you're at an intersection, basically. I think it's one more house and you're at the intersection. So it isn't to me, an ideal location. If somebody all of a sudden sees something bright light on the right, they may look in that direction. And I have a concern about that. And if the awning comes down far enough so it covered it, it's going to be less of an intrusion. But I'm kind of feeling that it's right on the edge of not understanding it quite well enough to know what it's really going to do until you do it. I also have some concerns about the awning because there's a downspout right there where the awning is. It cuts off like the left third, about a third in. So
Yeah,
the awning's going to have to come away from the building.
No, the downspout is just going to get rerouted.
Okay. Well, you understand what I'm saying. And that's
Yep.
not really a problem with us if you put the downspout someplace, because we don't have controls over drainage and downspouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I noticed that in the rules, so I didn't bother including it. I didn't want to overcomplicate things.
But I do I travel that section of the road probably every other day. And I do feel that there is some visibility from the street with traffic.
I mean, is it possible that we put a caveat in there that we only have the TV on when the awning is extended? And that way the TV wouldn't be visible from the street?
I would hope that it wouldn't be if it comes down far enough. I just don't know how that's going to work. You can move your awning up or down, within a reasonable amount. But I do think that there's without this, definitely I feel without the awning down, there's going to be a visibility from the street. And I think that's going to be of interest to people. People like TV more than they do watching the person in front of them in the car. So I think it's an issue.
When you took this picture, are you standing on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Or you're okay? So you're physically on the sidewalk.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Greg, did you have a question?
Is this under our jurisdiction? TVs, would it be considered a sign? And is awnings under our jurisdiction?
Yeah, I was sort of, I mean, I was looking at that, and Everett, if you have some analysis too. I mean, it doesn't say awnings under exclusion, so I think the awning is definitely under our jurisdiction. And there's no mention of televisions, so it's kind of
it's kind of an interesting situation, because it's part of the reason I said, is this a one and done deal, or are there two different things to really be considered here? Because the TV, there's a thing with satellites, like satellite dishes and stuff like that, that we really have no jurisdiction over, because they are considered a temporary item. So if the TV is going to be up in the summer but not up in the winter, it's a temporary item. So I think we need to read the bylaw very carefully and understand how that affects as an exclusion or not an exclusion. The awning is much the same way. They don't really talk about awnings, but they talk about shutters. If the awning is going up to block the sun in the hot summer day, this is on the south side of the house. So you could actually be blocking the sun for a protection from heat going through the patio doors there. And houses of this vintage often had awnings. So I think we're kind of in a little bit of a quandary there about that, although it's not being used directly for that. It's kind of an interesting situation. I have some pros and cons on it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was thinking the same thing with respect to the.
I just don't know how we look at the bylaw in relationship to that. But I do think we do have to look at the bylaw and figure out where it might go. It also says that we have the right to cover other items. And I'll have to find that in writing for you, okay?
Yep.
I think it's in the guidelines, the design guidelines.
Greg, go ahead.
Any chance you could move it so it's behind this addition? It'd be tucked in that little corner. You got a little patio there or something. It'll be, you'll have a little surround sound with those speakers over there, or you could reroute those speakers, I don't know. Is there a way you could put it so it's behind that addition that juts out?
There's actually, you can't see it in the picture, but there's a window there.
Yeah, I figured there's something.
So,
Put in the corner and on that swivel arm.
I'd have to cover the window, which I did propose that to my wife, but she did not want to cover the window, especially because it's also, it's a hinged window that swings outward. So you wouldn't be able to open it either.
Casement type window?
Yeah, exactly.
How about to the left of the door? Like when you're looking at that TV, just to the left of it, or even on like an arm that can swivel facing the backyard more. It just seems really high. I'd like to see it low, and I think if you were going to put it low, I don't think you'd have any issues from anybody with the TV factor.
I wouldn't want to speak for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, Greg is one of the neighbors, so he can.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other neighbors.
Yeah.
The significant other neighbors.
Emil, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'm looking at the bylaw under purpose, and one of the purposes is to encourage building design compatible with the buildings existing in the area so as to maintain the historic character of residences or commercial enterprises, which distinguish the town as a desirable community. What year was this house built?
1920.
Well, on the face of it, it looks to me like that's not compatible with the historic character of the house. Because in 1920, they wouldn't have had a television on the side of it that anybody could see. Anybody else have an opinion?
Virginia?
I'd be concerned about the amount of audio going out into all the neighborhood. I don't know whether there's any town bylaws that would apply to this as to having outdoor audio all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to hear it. I'm not too concerned about the sound personally, because both my neighbors have outside TVs closer than Greg's house, and I've never heard anything.
Yeah, I'd actually answer both of you guys. You kind of rolled into the same answer, which is they wouldn't have had speakers outside in 1920 either, but those are there. And those have been there, and they have much more wattage behind them than the TV would. So if there was any concern around sound, I think that would have already surfaced by now.
Only if the person who put them up asked. If you didn't put them up, do you know anything about the circumstances under which it was put up? You know, just because it's in place doesn't mean we have to think it's great.
No, I didn't say that, but I mean, it's, you know, I'm just pointing out the flaw in your logic. That's all.
So how about you deal with the flaw in your own logic, which is that it's there so it gets a pass. That's not really the purpose of this commission. We have some authority here, and then your neighbors are going to get a say too. So just because you want it doesn't mean you get it, unfortunately.
I understand that.
Okay.
I can't personally tell you whether those speakers have been in there a long time or not, since the district was created. I think when Billy, the Robichauds owned it, that might have been when it was done, when they did that addition on the back. And that's before the district was created, I think. I'd have to do a lot of homework to prove it or disprove it. But
I think they're about 10 years old or so.
you know, that's within the district time. But again, whether they were put up with consent or without consent, I just don't know. I don't ever remember getting consent for outside audio. Under 7.3.9, actually 0.1, it talks about exclusions, and it talks about storm windows and doors, screen windows, doors, shutters, windows, and wall air conditioners. Although I do think that there's a problem with wall air conditioners. On the front side of a building, they do not get an exclusion. They have to have a certificate of appropriateness. The storm windows, storm doors, shutters, I possibly could stick awnings in there. And therefore, because you're using it for a certain advantage to get sun blocked or use of the deck at a different time, possibly. The mechanics of a TV a little bit different. If it were temporary, it might offer some relief to the situation, but I do think it crops up in several different places in the bylaw.
Yeah, there's Pino. I was looking at the same thing. I mean, the bylaw and the guidelines are, you know, they do not they're silent on awnings specifically and TV specifically, but I was going, you know, the temporary structure. I mean, I know people who have TVs and they literally take it in every night. So I feel like that would skew more toward being a temporary item. The awning obviously would be a permanent item. But it's a little, you know, it doesn't fit like a glove into anything we've seen recently.
Although I do think we are impacted by the fact that under the design guidelines, It says, it's on page 5. The following list are examples of most frequent items as seen from the public way that are subject to review should be considered to be a guideline only. And then it says, it is not intended to be an all-inclusive, that add list to the term. Does the TV fit in as furniture, patio furniture, street furniture? You know, it's more of an item that we're used to having as furniture in our house. Now it's being moved outside where it's visible. And I must admit, more people have talked about having a neighbor that has TV outside. I wouldn't want to watch TV outside.
I mean,
Not that I watch anything bad or anything, but I just think that it's kind of imposing on my neighbors to have them listen to what I listen to or see what I see. And I am concerned about traffic. 2 houses away from an intersection. And I don't know what guidelines or rules the building inspector, if it falls underneath that, or the town clerk has. We have to make sure that we do not vary any of their rules, and we don't even know them all, I'm sure. So.
Okay. Yeah, I will acknowledge, I mean, there, in the last year, there's definitely been a surge of outdoor televisions. I'm sure across the country, but at least in Reading, I've noticed a lot of them, and for, you know, obvious reasons. Greg, were you raising your hand?
Yeah, Tom, do you know if you need a building permit for the awning? Did you say that already?
The installer told me that I did not. So assuming that he knows what he's talking about, I don't believe I do, no.
And then Everett, did you say awnings is something that we have jurisdiction over?
Well, the list that's given says that we can make it inclusive of anything that we want, if we feel it's necessary. That's in the guidelines, Greg. As I said, page 5.
Julie, did you, I saw you react about the permit question.
Yeah, so there are instances in which the building inspector does have to verify the awnings are installed correctly and installed at a certain height. I'm not sure if they apply specifically to single family homes or 2-family homes, but I can check with Kim and with Glenn tomorrow and let you know.
Virginia?
I think this is a very important decision because we haven't had to deal with it up until this case. And the fact that we are talking about a historic district makes it far different than considering a neighbor's home in a residential or commercial area. So I'm going to urge everyone to use real caution and not set a precedent, and probably vote to deny this application, because we haven't seen any other alternatives that would be less intrusive for the district. Thank you.
Everett?
I would point out, Virginia, that it's a precedent in either way. It's a precedent to put them in, or it's a precedent not to put them in. Mm-hmm. And I strongly feel if it's a historic district has having a problem with it, that we do take a vote on it, because that is setting a precedent about this sort of action, not just a precedent Amelia? To agree with it.
Well, I was going to ask Everett and Ginny. I noticed the guidelines haven't been updated since 2006. So maybe no matter where we fall on this, the guidelines need to have this addressed in it. Do we get to do that? How does that work?
There's information in the bylaw that says that we can do things with the guidelines. I don't know exactly what the procedures are. We do have 2 or 3 things that I brought up a couple of times to the commission. For example, air conditioners. One place it says wall air conditioners, another place it says window air conditioners. can be put any place they want to, but yet in the actual bylaw, it says that wall air conditioners must be approved, cannot be in the front of a house. They can go out non-visible in the back. Because a wall air conditioner is a permanent feature, whereas a window air conditioner is not a permanent feature. It's taken out every, very relatively few people leave them in the window during the winter. That's part of the reason I was trying to recognize that we're considering the TV a permanent feature. If it's going to be out there even in the winter, it becomes a permanent feature. I think that's more of an issue. Not that I still like or dislike. I'm not letting my side of the hand go here. I'm trying to play devil's advocate, play both sides of the fence here, because I think this is very important to let all the discussion out so that we can understand what's going to happen at the district. And again, I don't know that we can say, well, because of traffic on the street, we're going to vote against it. I don't think that's any grounds for us to vote against it. I would wonder why somebody didn't have jurisdiction on it. But I personally don't feel that we do. I think in the historical nature of the district, we have some concerns, and that's what we had to be dealing with. I'm kind of stepping in and out here a little bit. I know that.
Yeah.
Kind of intentionally.
Yeah. This, Pino, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm a little, I mean, this, I'm on both sides of this one too, because, just our narrow purview and purpose of this commission, I think putting a TV up doesn't really, jive with that. But, I think there could be some middle ground solutions potentially. Maybe it's not up in the winter. The TV is not going to be on 24 hours a day. Maybe the awning, they can roll the awning up when not in use, would mitigate the sight of it. And again, I'm not an outdoor TV expert, but I know a 50-inch TV is a large TV, so you're not going to want to get up on a ladder and take it down, every night. But maybe just throwing that out there for conversation for other people to consider.
I'm also not a big TV fan in terms of the size of the TV. Actually, we had a 54-inch or a 55-inch. We got a great deal on it. I brought it in and put it in the house. And they said, oh, there's plenty of room between me and the couch, and it's 10 feet. I couldn't watch one side to the other side. My head kept going back and forth, back and forth. I gave it away and bought another one smaller. And I think you're going to have much the same sort of a problem. Your head's going to be propped up. You're looking, trying to figure out what's going on. It's like going to an outdoor theater, it's a little tough.
55 is outside. It's not, a 70-inch TV would, that's big. 55 outside is big, but it's not, outrageous. I don't think. Not in the analysis, just for, to go to that point.
Well, your argument holds no water at all, because I come from when a 14-inch TV was huge. And we had the first one in town. So I think that people have to really look at the bylaw and interpret it. Can we write stipulations into a certificate of appropriateness that says can't run it past 11 o'clock at night, no news, can't have it up in the winter, I don't know. Can we write stipulations in on like that? I don't think we ever have.
Virginia?
I believe we can write stipulations according to the bylaw. I'm
like to
saying
be
the way I
corrected.
interpret the bylaw, that yes, we can.
Good. I like to be corrected. Good.
I would just quickly ask, and I'm sure you've thought of this before.
Yes, we can. Sorry, Julie. Go
You
ahead.
have conditions or stipulations, you just need to also have a process for enforcement if those conditions are not complied with. So do you have something like that in your bylaw?
I believe it says the building inspector is to do that, but I don't know whether that's only for demolition or not. So We'll have to
No, I
check
believe
that.
I believe it goes for
I got
anything,
the
and there are
language here.
penalties.
I got the language. So 7.3.77, conditions on certificates. In issuing certificates, the commission may, as it deems appropriate, impose certain conditions and limitations and may require architectural plan modifications consistent with the intent and purpose of this bylaw and the commission's guidelines. So we can do conditions.
And again, we did technically through the building inspector, we have a way to enforce them. There is also a way to put penalties on it if they don't abide. To be honest, I don't think we've ever had a lot of support with that. We've never done it, first of all. And when we've had a situation of asked for support, I don't believe it's happened.
Okay, Carl?
I'm also kind of concerned about where that TV is and whether or not we can mitigate that by moving it somewhere else on that back wall. I don't know. It doesn't really fit within the historic and within a historic district.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Pino.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we discussed that a little bit earlier. I can't remember who it was, but someone suggested moving it over to the left based on where you see it in the picture, and we can't really do that because there's a casement window there that would get covered and would be non-functional.
Okay, so there's not enough. So there's just not enough room.
It'd be put into the corner. I don't know how tight the casement is to the old building. If it were moved to the left and then kitty cornered, it would be basically facing away from the street at that particular point, at least more than it is now. And still visible on the patio or the deck. I just don't know. I don't know where that casement window is located. Is it right in the center of that addition? Back wall?
Yeah, and then the problem too is you can't really kitty corner because there's another sliding door right there that opens right at that corner.
I see.
So I feel like,
I was just going to say, just a food for thought. A lot of people do outdoor TVs. I have an outdoor TV, but it's kind of tucked in that you don't really notice it. And I take it in, if we're at a sporting event or kids want to watch something up, but I bring it in every night. You're not going to want to bring that in every night. And I remember they wanted to put a billboard down the street, and that was, denied big time. Not saying it's going to look like a billboard, but it's going to have that kind of feel of a billboard, digital billboard. It's a little distracting. If the awning would cover it completely when it's down, I think you'd get a lot further than without it. And then the awning seems to me like an umbrella. People put umbrellas up with the patio umbrellas and then they take them down. An awning seems kind of like that. I would be easier to allow an awning to be put in because you're not always going to have it out. You're going to put it down during a storm or in the winter. So I'd be more inclined to allow an awning to be put up that could completely cover a TV from your neighbors. That's kind of where I'm standing right now, just personally.
Again, that's why I asked if it's a 1 or 2-for-1 deal. It kind of sounded like it was you get 2 if you vote for 1.
Yeah, so to answer that, I don't want to speak in definitives, but I think we would consider doing the awning without the TV. I don't think we could consider doing the TV without the awning because it needs to have some sort of protection from the elements.
Maybe when we talk about motions and votes and stuff, we should consider the two things separately.
Yeah, well, can we could do, if people are ready to vote maybe on the awning, but you wanna hear from the abutters on the TV or even have a public hearing on the TV, I think we might be able to bifurcate the two. Does that
Do
sound like
we-
something we might wanna do, or?
So just a question of procedure. If we don't know what we think, we can ask the abutters to weigh in. If we know what we think, do we have to let the abutters? Because how this is going is nobody's really thrilled about this TV. So can we say no to the TV procedurally and then talk about the awning as a separate thing, or does it have to go to the abutters?
I think the abutters would only come in if we're gonna approve it.
Thought something,
I'm looking, hold on.
if we considered it a part-time temporary, like an umbrella or something like that, that it would be considered non-applicable. I don't know where I read that. I better get my act together here.
So if we say it's covered, if we say the TV is covered, we have to have the public hearing, or we waive the public hearing and there's the abutters. So
That's right.
the abutters come in if it's applicable. If it's not applicable, I think that's it.
Right. If we say it's not applicable, we can vote it and let it go. But I do think we have some serious questions about what it does to the historic district. So I think we're trying to split it into two parts so that it can vary a little bit. Granted, you're not going to want to take a 55-inch TV in and out every night. They could maybe do a smaller TV and take it in and out every night, like I guess some other people do. But the awning, I don't have too many problems with the awning. It falls under like a piece of solar equipment to me.
Yeah, I personally have much less heartburn with the awning.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you guys mentioned writing something into the bylaw. Is it possible that we include something in the application for the TV that says, and this is obviously assuming that the awning gets passed, but write something into the TV application that says that the TV can only be on if the awning is extended and covering it from being visible from the street?
Yeah, we can put conditions into the certificate, yes.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's more feasible doing it that way. I would think so, but I'll let you guys share your thoughts.
I feel like I'm walking on quicksand.
I think Eileen dropped off, did she?
I believe so.
So how many? Virginia and Carl, you're both associates, right?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just throw something out to see if we agree. I think we might be able to have a vote on the awning first, and then continue the conversation on the TV, which could either go for any number of ways, either on a public hearing, a non-applicable vote, or a straight up vote, yes or no. And if it's no, that means no TV. If it's yes, that means you would still get a butters or some sort of conditional certificate. So we have a menu of options, I feel like, with this TV. But are people ready to vote on the awning? Or would you like a public hearing on everything? We could have a public hearing on everything too. So we really can decide any course you guys want. Virginia.
I think there's some magic words in our paperwork that says whether it is insignificant to the district, then we can waive the hearing. But if it's not insignificant, then we should go ahead with the notice of the abutters and have the public hearing. And that would be the direction I would go.
You want a public hearing for the awning and the TV?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm not opposed to that. I think they also could be split. I don't think the awning is the same as the TV. I think it's the TV that's presenting the change in character for the neighborhood. Awnings have been around for a long time, and they've been on residential and other houses, other commercial properties. So I think we could go either way, but whatever the committee flavors.
I would counter that awnings have been around for hundreds of years, but they were always window awnings, or in a commercial area, they were large window or awnings. This is an awning that is having a specific use, and the size of it is not a window awning. So I disagree that that's a historic. This would be a whole new kettle of worms, and we'll have to waddle through it.
Right. I do think that there's a wider door down there. There's a 6-foot door down there, so that maybe it's a bigger awning, but it could be used as a solar piece. But technically correct. It's the windows awnings on a residential house covered the window. This has a larger, wider span.
All right, so oh, Amelia.
I guess I would want to go back to Tom. If we say you can have the awning, but you can't have the TV, maybe we should do the TV first, because that seems like that's the sticking point that everybody is really having. Because if we're not going to let him have his TV, then maybe he doesn't want the awning. That's what you said initially. Did you change that position, Tom?
No, it was the other way around. And I didn't say that definitively because this is something that I would want to just discuss with my wife. But if we didn't get the awning, we couldn't have the TV because we need the awning for protection purposes for the TV.
But if we say no to the TV, you're still going to want to ask for the awning?
I believe so. I would need to just double check that with my wife, but that is more than likely the case, yes.
That's a south exposure, and I assume you're trying to get the use of the deck when it's in the heat and all that sort of stuff.
when the sun's out, it's like it's unbearable out there in the middle of the summer because it's just so hot. It just bears down on the deck.
I also somewhat involved with some design on architecture and thing. I think you're gonna have a tough time diverting that water. That gutter pipe that comes right down through the middle there has a lot of purpose. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be an issue.
Well, I haven't had someone come look at it, but my understanding is that it can be rerouted into the gutter for that little part that sticks out, because there's a gutter that runs around the perimeter of the roof there.
Right.
So I think it can just be routed to dump into that.
Yeah, well, that's the intent, but they don't function so well in the winter when they do that.
Yeah.
If you want to come down and look at one that's similar, it's on the back of my house. I have a terrible problem with it too.
I don't like to hear that.
Well, it's just the way the houses are. They got a lot of different little sections of gutter, and drop it here, drop it there, and it accumulates. And
yeah,
and these gutters are all metal and they freeze in the winter. So That's why we chose New England. We don't like hurricanes and tornadoes and all that other stuff, but we have our own. bear.
I had a couple points. So I am, I definitely appreciate and agree with the commission's, sensitivity to the TV. It's new and it's definitely clashes to some extent with the purpose of a historic district. But I have a question for Greg and, well, anyone who's familiar with West Street, I guess, is, this TV, as most TVs is in this gentleman's backyard. So I guess my question to people familiar with West Street is, how many backyards can you see from a public way, or is this sort of a very unique situation?
No, it's not that unique. You can see most yards on West Street very easily.
Most backyards where like let's say we open the floodgates and 24 people put up TVs, would a lot of them be visible from the public way, or would this be one of like two houses?
Not as many people have a property the size of Tom here either, so.
I disagree a little bit. It's not his backyard, it's his side yard.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
the side of the house.
that's
And
what
I
I
think
was gonna
that's what presents part of the problem. I think if it was in the back of the house, we have no jurisdiction, not out of sight.
Correct. Tom, could you put it on a table on the deck, or even just mount it lower, maybe even below the windows, so it's almost eye level if you're sitting down?
I mean, one option that the installer talked to us about was installing a pole that would be basically it would come up through where the railing is on the deck, and then the TV could rotate around. But to be honest, I thought that would probably be more intrusive, because it would be just this giant like swinging thing in the middle of the deck, like on the edge of the deck rather than flush on the house. I don't know if I'm doing it any justice trying to describe it here, but does that make sense?
So are you saying that it would be still visible from outside your property? Or it would be it now would be so low that no one would see it?
It would still be visible, but it would probably, in most cases, you'd probably just see the back of the TV rather than anything else from the street.
If you got a TV that was smaller, maybe even that size, and you could bring it inside after each use. I mean, that's what I do. I have it mounted to a 4x4 post that's in the ground. It actually looks, if you can see that, it's my backyard, and it's a post in the ground, and my TV is just mounted to it. And there's a PVC pipe in the ground, and I remove the post and the TV after each time, and I put the TV away. I don't know if you have something on the side of the patio to do that. I don't know, just trying to work it out here with you.
Yeah, I mean, conceivably, the part of the problem is that I've already got all the wires run inside the walls for it. So I would need to figure something out in terms of like putting an interface there for me to plug everything into and whatnot.
In terms of the district, this being on the side of the house, I think just about every piece of property there, barring a corner, a house on a corner, would have possible implications of this being a problem with the district. It's just it's the side, not the back. The other thing I'm questioning, are we feeling strong enough about this that if it goes to a public hearing and let's use a little bit of past history here, nobody shows up except Tom and his wife, nobody expresses an opinion either way, we're still going to end up making the decision. And do we have to make a decision if people come there and support it?
Well, we have to make a decision one way or the other, I believe, within 60 days.
I was trying to be nice and say, can we still make a negative decision not to sponsor
Yes.
this thing?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to know that. I just, a little green there.
Virginia?
There is another option. There is another option that other commissions use, and that is to have the applicant, after hearing our reservations and current concerns, ask for a delay, and he could come back with new plans for approval if he's sensing the fact that he may not get approval with this plan.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I think that's kind of similar to the approach of what I suggested earlier, which is adding something into the bylaw, such as like the TV can only be in use when the awning is extended or something like that. I mean, I think it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, if I understand the two options correctly. But if I'm missing anything, please let me know.
Virginia?
That would not be a bylaw change, because that would have to go through town meeting and all. That would be a condition that could be written into the decision.
Yeah, it's a condition to the certificate that would be issued. Amelia?
I'm sort of wondering why we aren't just saying no when everybody's saying no. It's his house. He wants to do what he wants to do. We don't want him to be upset with us. We don't want the people who live in the district to be upset with us when we say no, but no one's saying the TV's fine, let's do it. Am I wrong?
Well, I think it's time to start voting on some of this stuff for sure.
Well, I think Virginia's got a good point that if Tom thinks he wants to try and alter this in some way, we give him that opportunity rather than just shut the door and say no. And he has to go through a larger process to get something back in if he decides to do that.
Okay.
I guess anybody can reapply if they've changed the request.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to alter it, whether it's, you know, me altering and reapplying, or whether it's you guys including something in there as a condition. You know, I'm not as familiar with the process, so if you guys tell me one's better than the other, you know, I'm willing to go either route. I just, you know, I'm kind of deferring to you guys on ways the better approach here.
So if, I mean, we're probably talking about, I mean, a week or two here or there regarding timing, because we could vote, you know, we could vote on, let's just sing off the TV. We could vote on the TV today, you know, it could get rejected today. Nothing's stopping you from coming back at a later point with another idea and reapplying. You know, we would have to then schedule another meeting. So I mean, that could happen quickly. I'm just trying to think out loud with the time he would save if he went back, and you would save some time. You wouldn't have to formally reapply if you you know, went back and caucused for a week and then, you know, came back to us. We'd have to schedule another meeting regardless.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem doing that if that's what you feel is the best approach here.
I also think if you really know the tone of what we're trying to say here is that it's a tough situation to put a TV out where it's visible on the side of the house. And it doesn't affect all of the traffic going by or all of the people going by, but it does set a tone there. So I think you know that now. I'm not sure that an awning is really going to cover the TV either. I just don't know how that's going to work. So maybe you can figure out how that's going to happen.
Virginia?
I'd like to comment on the fact that our applicant has been very amenable, and we appreciate that very much. The problem is if we allow, I don't want him to have to put up a higher fence over what he already has to hide the TV.
That it requires a building permit, because that's a 6-foot fence
Right.
already. And anything
Right.
over a 6 foot requires a building permit. I know that.
Yeah, I also want to I also want to echo what Virginia said. I mean, we do get instances where people go ahead and do something and then they come to us after. So we definitely appreciate, that you're sensitive to the TV and its impact on the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cause any waves or anything. I think Julie is the person I talked to on the phone a few weeks ago, because I read through everything and I was like, I am very unclear on whether or not either of these things are things that we need to get approved. So like, I'd rather ask for approval than beg for forgiveness. So,
Probably spoke to Amanda.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, it's open if anyone wants to make a motion, or Tom, if you want, we've talked about this for an hour plus, if you want to reassess, or, we can really do anything here, going a couple different directions here.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable talking about the awning as is. And then in terms of the TV, I think I'd like to resubmit that application based on some of the concerns that have been brought to light this evening.
Greg?
Could we put a motion on the floor for the awning, and like Tom was suggesting, with a understanding that the TV will be only used a certain amount of time if the awning's down, and then definitely have a town hearing about that, or butters letter. But can we get something going? Because I believe Tom's just going to come back with the same idea of putting the TV in the same spot. I don't think that's going to change. So if we put something on the floor to say, we'll allow the awning, but as far as the TV, we want that to be, talked about more at a public hearing.
Yeah, any objections to that?
Or can we just postpone the meeting and say we'll meet in 3 weeks or 2 weeks and reevaluate what additional changes might be needed or offered?
Yeah. Tom, do you foresee any other changes, really, realistically? I mean, it doesn't seem like it.
I mean, I want to go back out there and take another look at other places we might be able to put it. I mean, I've already gone through the process once, but I do want to go back out there and just make sure that there isn't anything we overlooked, especially with some of the suggestions that you guys have had. Having said that, if I can't find a good alternative, my thought would be that I would reapply with the conditions of that it would be covered while it was on by the awning, and potentially, and I don't want to say this definitively because I want to talk to the installer and see how difficult it would be for me to get up and down, but my thought is I would probably take it in for the winter, because we're not really planning on using it during that time anyways. So if it's not too much of a pain for me to get down, I'd like to take it in anyways.
So just to be crystal clear, I know we've covered this 3 or 4 times, but just to be crystal clear, let's say we voted on the TV and rejected it tonight, you would still want the awning, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. I just want to double check with my wife, but most likely yes.
Okay, so that, I mean, I am open to voting on the awning today. But what do other people think about that? Or do you want to just defer everything?
I think we should just package it up and defer it and let it come back as a new presentation. We can still split it then if we feel that that's necessary. It saves some time in writing a certificate, sending out abutters letters, whatever we have to do if we vote something in. I think we need to clarify if it's a certificate of appropriateness and we feel it's significant, we have to open it up to an abutters letter and we have to open up a public hearing, and then we can pull it down to an abutters letter if we do that. If we save it as one process, it'll be just one process, not potentially two.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement that it's that a certificate of non-applicability is not valid here, right?
I seem to remember one sentence in the bylaw, and I can't seem to find it right now, that says these things fall under non-applicable if they're like shutters or a storm door or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't find it right now.
It's really hard to say. It's really the people on this commission whether it's within that scope or not, because again, it's not. It falls into that non-inclusive. This isn't all-inclusive basket,
Right.
So we can include it or not. We have that decision authority, I think.
Right, and that's
I don't
both
think-
items.
Yeah, I personally would not want to blanket say TVs are not applicable.
I wouldn't either, but I think they both fall under the certificate of appropriateness if we decide that's where they go.
Yeah, I agree.
And we can do it, the process once instead of doing it twice if we hold off. That's my for sure care. Don't really care.
All right. Any other last thoughts or concerns?
Just a quick question. In terms of reapplying for the TV, would it be helpful at all if I got a letter from my neighbor stating his non-objection, or however you want to phrase it, to it being there? I know that the abutters process happens too, but sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying there's a lot more neighbors than just him.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, he's the one that would be most affected by it. So that's why I bring it up. I know that there's the abutters process that covers everything else, but just wanted to throw that out there.
I also feel that it's the ambiance of the historic district that's more, and abutter might approve it. All the abutters might approve it, but I think it's the ambiance of the district that's really under the discussion here. That's what I'm hearing as an undertone or an overtone. But I do thank you for bringing up such a twisty, curvy situation that kind of befuddles us sometimes when the bylaw twists and turns us also. Okay, and you do too.
Pina?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'd like to ask Julie if, although we've never done it before, can we ask him to withdraw without prejudice, such as the other commissions do? Or shall we just say we'll reschedule? What would be the best procedure for this?
So that's a really good question. I think that what I would suggest is he can get, he can ask for an extension of time to your time frame. You can grant him that.
Okay.
If that's what you're worried about. And then usually we kind of try to reserve the withdrawal without prejudice until there's like that critical moment when there's realization that this is going to be denied otherwise. And just like in certain, I don't know how exactly works the Historic District Commission, but in a lot of things we do, with the Community Planning and Development Commission and Zoning Board. If something is outright denied, an applicant can't come back with the same or similar enough application within 2 years. So that's partly why we suggest that, so that an applicant can, that's the without prejudice part, right? So they can withdraw and then they could bring back, like if the board turns over, they could bring back the same application and try again, right? So I don't know if that's exactly the same as what you do, but we typically try to reserve that until for cases when it looks like something might be denied.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor to offer an extension on Mr. Pendergast's application. And maybe we can even set a date so we'd know that.
I second. Should we vote now?
Okay. Yep. So, all right. So let's vote. So, Eileen, can you? Oh, sorry, Virginia, you have a comment?
No, I just think we should have a date certain so that the applicant will know where we are and we'll know when we're going to have our next meeting.
Okay. And remember, we do have a 60-day clock that we have to make a decision from the application being submitted. And we also have a 45-day clock if we're going to have a public hearing. So I think we might get into a bit of a bylaw gray area if we extend this for 3 weeks and then we decide we want to have a hearing. You know, we're pushing past some of those milestones.
It's typically where the continuance and the extension of time come into play that gives you the opportunity to extend. It's like extending that 60-day time frame. And if the applicant and the commissioner are both willing, then, you know, that usually isn't a problem.
It's like a new 45-day period, a new 60-day period. Yeah.
Okay, so Everett, can you just repeat your motion, please?
I make a motion that we offer an extension, hopefully setting a date to rehear this application.
All right,
guess
I'll do roll call. So Eileen.
She's muted.
Yeah, Eileen, can you hear us? All right, I'll
No, if you're the meeting organizer, you might be able to unmute her from your end. I'm not sure.
I can't. Julie, can you?
It actually doesn't look like it. I can ask her to unmute herself. So I can do that.
Oh, we have one automatic abstention.
Okay. All right, Greg.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll second that motion.
It's already been seconded, but that's all right.
Amelia.
Yes.
Everett.
Yes.
Okay, and I vote yes as well.
And Virginia.
No, I was not appointed.
Oh,
So
that's
I mean,
right.
you know, it's kind of weird because Eileen is technically here, so I don't know if I could appoint Virginia.
Yeah.
It wouldn't change anything. So 4 and 1 abstention. Okay, so that motion passes, and the purpose is, Tom, for you to, you know, take a fresh look. You got, you know, you got 6 people's opinion here. So I guess we could talk about maybe a next date. Or Tom, how much time do you think? I don't think you'll need much more than a week or 2, right?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay. Okay, so do we want to set a date now, or I mean, Tom's here, so let's just set a date now, I guess. We have everyone here.
Well, two
Okay,
weeks,
so looking,
two
sorry,
weeks
go ahead,
from
Emil.
tonight is Historical Commission. So maybe we could do it a different night that week. If Julie can let us.
What, that was Historical Commission?
2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, the 14th.
How, I mean, a week from now is a week from now too soon?
I have a meeting on that night, the 7th.
Julie, what other dates are Tuesdays and Thursdays? Do Tuesdays and Thursdays work for anyone? I just, you know, it doesn't have to be Wednesday, does it?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes I am not available on Tuesdays or Mondays or Thursdays, but I'll let you know. And also Amanda and I have agreed to trade off, so we can probably make it work one way or the other, whatever date you want.
I have a little difficulty with the week of the 12th through the 16th. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be here or not. Depends on what COVID does.
And then school vacation week is the 19th. Is anyone going to be away that's on the commission, or Tom?
No. Where would we go?
I know, sad the fair is going anywhere. Okay. All right, so I mean, I'll throw out some dates. The 8th, the 14th. Oh no, I'm sorry, the 14th. I mean, wait, is the 14th historical?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say 8th, 21st. 8th is a Thursday, 15th is a Thursday, 21st is a Wednesday.
I prefer the 21st.
21st, okay.
Don't count on me though. And Greg has said yes.
Okay, Amelia, 21st.
Yeah, but it's more important if Tom can do it, right?
Tom?
Yes, the only one of those that wouldn't work for me is the 8th. That's actually my wedding anniversary, and we already have plans to go out.
Don't want to talk about this on your wedding anniversary?
Thankfully, my wife is in the background and just pointed it out to me while you guys were talking about that.
Oh, you shouldn't ever admit that. Never admit you don't know when your anniversary is.
Oh, I didn't admit anything.
Virginia, Carl, Eileen, 21st. Are you okay with that date? April 21st, Wednesday?
Yeah,
Yeah, 21st is okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll revisit this on April 21st. And logistically, Tom would just have to, I guess, supplement his current application with any new information.
Are you sending us home with homework, Mr. Pino, to read the bylaw again and again?
I think we established that it's, you know, there's flexibility in the guidelines and the bylaw.
Right.
That at the end of the day, it's going to be a up or down vote on a certificate of appropriateness, either with some kind of condition or, you know, a yay or an nay, because, you know, I think if we took a vote, if it's not applicable, that vote would not pass. That makes sense?
Okay. Awesome.
So sorry, just to be clear, do I need to fill out a new application or?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I do have one question
Yeah.
for the commission. Is that, can he do the abutters list now so we have that feedback before that meeting, or do we have to formally schedule? Because the way it would normally happen is we would declare a public hearing and the abutters listing would happen, and then I guess you could always cancel the public hearing, or we would issue the certificate contingent and waive the public hearing, but we would still wait for the abutters. Is there some sort of in between where we don't make a decision on a public hearing, but you can still go forward with the abutter exercise? I just don't want to waste 3 weeks and then we come back here and we're like, all right, we want to hear what the abutters say, and there's another, 2 or 3 weeks right there. I mean, there's nothing that says he can't do that, I guess.
Well, my feeling is he can get the abutters list, can ask for the abutters list. I don't know if I would send it out unless we know what, or he would want to send it out unless he knows what the final option plan is. Because if it's going to change, that's not really offering the abutters the real information.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Okay. All right, so let's just stick with, we'll revisit on the 21st of April.
But he could apply for the abutters list. There's a section where you get your application that talks abutters list, and you fill it out and they send it up to the, I don't know, assessor's office. And they send back a list of what the abutters list of people, the ones that you have to send a letter to, and then there's a procedure for that. Amanda can fill it in better than I can probably right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick, easy process, Tom. If you just want to contact me or Amanda.
I think I submitted that actually with the original application.
You could have.
Yeah.
So therefore they'll provide that abutters list to you. Usually it takes a few days, so I don't know if it's been emailed to you or not.
Yeah, usually they'll email it to you directly, the assessor's office.
Sorry, mail or email?
Email.
Email.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything yet.
So yeah, I can see if we have it, but if you haven't gotten it, then you might not have filled out that form because they are pretty quick in turning it around usually.
Okay.
Who gets the envelopes, who stuffs the letters, who puts the postage on them and all that sort of stuff. And usually it's about 30 names. It's within 300 feet of your house. But you just get ready for it. You don't want to do it yet. You just want to get ready for it. So when we have the meeting, you don't have to wait for it.
Okay.
You've been awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time and cooperation.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate all the thoughts going into it. And, it's obviously helpful to have some viewpoints that we hadn't considered. So we will go back to the drawing board and hopefully have a better application next time we talk.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna continue. You're more than welcome to stay on, or if not, we will hopefully hear from you before the 21st and see you in on Zoom on the 21st.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next on our agenda, go ahead, Amelia.
I found that hugely frustrating. Is there something I'm not understanding about, I don't know, history here, or has the commission said no to people in the past and gotten swatted down? What is the avoidance of no here?
I don't know. Me personally, it's a guy putting a TV up in his backyard. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, I probably would have voted to approve the awning, but not, try to work with him with the TV. But I mean, it's a novel thing, it seems like, for this commission. But yeah, I mean, I agree that it's not a TV that you see from the street in a historic district doesn't go with the spirit of a historic district. I agree 100% with that.
Well, with all due respect to everybody, it seems to me that there are a lot of things that come before us that instead of saying what we think or what we want, there's a tap dance. Like if somebody comes and they say, I want to put up a fence with white vinyl, we never just say, no, that is not what we want. We want you to reconsider this. So what I'm asking here is, there's some political stuff going on here that I'm just not aware of, because I'm ready to tear my hair out. An
I
hour
think
and 40
that's-
minutes.
We approved a fence
that
right at
not-
the end of Woburn Street the other day, and they wanted to put vinyl right out next to the street, and we said no.
Okay.
In
but-
talking to him, we said no, and he moved it back next to the front of the building. He made it wood. He even opened up the top foot and put grate. I agree with you that it's not the trend for us to say no, because usually they're not gross violations. My vote would have been, this is no on the TV. But then you're not letting him have any other options. I don't know if he's going to be able to solve the problem. That's the biggest question. And yet I don't know that we have any jurisdiction over what the street can see when people are driving by in their car. I think it's a real hazard coming onto a corner and seeing this TV off to the side. I think it's a real problem, but I don't know whose jurisdiction it's under. So I think this has been a real twister one.
Virginia?
I think, Amelia, that it's a case of walking our way through these new situations and to make it clear to the applicant that we're struggling with it and that we're trying to reach a fair decision. So I don't really have a lot of problems with, as long as we're not repeating ourselves over and over, that it takes some time to come to the decision. Does that make you feel any better?
No, because I feel like you just told me Pacenza. And I don't know that I have Pacenza with this every single time. So nobody else was frustrated by that? It's just me?
No,
Why are you laughing? Don't be laughing at me, dude.
No, I agree. It's frustrating. I mean, it would have, I mean, part of me is like, we're pontificating about it for an hour and a half. Let's just have an up or down vote. I would have been fine with that too. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we gave him a chance to tweak it. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
First of all, I'm very happy he came before the committee and just didn't do it
I would have
on
just
his
done
own.
You should have just done that.
That's half the battle, after somebody puts up their white vinyl fence for 300 feet around their yard, and we can't get anybody to say, no, that's wrong, because there's not a building permit on fencing, we have problems. And so to get somebody to come in and see the district and understand what the district's trying to do, I think was really pretty good. It is frustrating.
I have to adjust my expectations of this process. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, especially when it's something new, because I think when somebody comes in, the first person who comes in and wants to put solar panels on the front of their roof, visible from the street, I think they're disgusting. But the bylaw lets us do it. It's pretty clear cut. There's a lot in this bylaw that's not showing. We don't see all those incumbent ones that are going to come out as the technology changes and stuff like that.
Solar panels have a special protected status under the Mass General laws too, though. So that's a little.
I
it's
understand
a little
that. They're under the
helpful to your-
bylaw, they're under the state law, they're under the federal law, they're under everything, because I understand why. I still don't like them, but
there's less gray area for you guys there because of
there's
that.
no gray area for that one.
But at that conference I went to online, it says, yes, you can still just help the applicants decide which is the better way to install the solar panels. So you can still be involved with solar panel use in historic districts.
Right. I understand that. I just use that as an example because I know it's more clear cut.
Last thing for me on this, let's just, to play devil's advocate, let's say he doesn't want to agree to any extensions. If we don't do anything within 60 days, I think we sort of forfeit, right? So I think now we're kind of in a situation where the 21st, I mean, we're already that might be 40 days. No, a little less, probably like in the 30, we're probably in the early 30s of the application. if we decide at that meeting to do the public hearing, we wouldn't be able to do that other 14-day thing that you need before the public hearing. And then the public hearing wouldn't be 45 days since.
You know, I think those things are all pushed back. They're all just pushed back. It's like we're starting in new with the application is in essence what we're doing, starting in new with the application on the 21st.
Even if he pushes back on timelines?
Even if we push the timeline back. Isn't that right, Julie?
I mean, if
yeah. So, I mean, it's a little bit like you're still within the time frame, right? So it's like a little unknowable at this point. But if you're getting to a point where you think that it's going to end up being a default approval or whatever because you're running out of time, then you get something in writing from the applicant extending the time frame, right? Like, you know, and if he's not willing to give that, then you force the vote.
Yep, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else or minutes?
I think Amanda's just way ahead of us. She's really good.
I'll tell her that she'll appreciate
Amelia, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Say it again.
I am Amelia, Emilia, and Amelia out. There are 3 of them in my world now, and then Amanda on top of it. Thank you, Amelia.
Amelia, I'll throw this decision over to you. So we traditionally do new business and then minutes, but according to the agenda, we have minutes first. So what's your preference?
No, why don't we do the new stuff first, and then we can just check off the minutes after that.
Okay, I know Virginia had one. I have a really quick one. So we got an email from a architect asking about if they still need to submit the 7 copies, hard copies. And I know that's in our instructions. So I don't know, Julie, if you know what other so the question was basically, do we still want the 7, 8, whatever it is, hard copies of applications? Because this architect is said she's probably going to do some work in the coming months in the district.
Yeah, so are any of you getting hard copies mailed to you at this? No. Okay, yeah. So then really like what we need in the office is just like 1 copy for the file and then 1 copy for the town clerk. So what we've been doing with like our applications for CPDC is we're getting, you know, 2 copies, and then sometimes we do have them bring in like big plans if we still have like staff that want to look at big plans, but we've reduced it significantly because everything's happening online now. So you could ask for 2 copies and I think that would cover us. And then we could always make copies if like someone from the public wanted one, or you changed your mind and you wanted one, we could make additional ones for you.
Okay, so does anyone have any heartburn with me telling her that it's, you know, we're temporarily tolling that? Please submit 2 copies, and then because we still might want the copies when we're in person, because it is helpful when we have the plans and stuff. So a temporary, you know, we're temporarily suspending that for now, but submit 2 copies. Okay.
You know, what property is that?
She did not give me any names or properties. She just sent an email.
I saw the email, but I was just wondering if we knew.
Yeah, I asked her. She didn't give me anything.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It's on the corner of West and Lewis. Small Cape, little drive, little 2-car garage, basketball hoop. Kids always playing hoop there. If you're coming from Woburn, coming down West, it's on the left. Lewis is a left turn, and you look right at it. And then looking to do some significant work. So I'm curious to see what those plans look like.
Interesting. Okay. Anyone else new business? Adams?
Thank you. I did take the liberty of sending you the picture portion of the program that I attended with Chris Skelly, but because the slides don't really tell an awful lot, I think it'd be better to kind of review it all and how our decision should be working into the Secretary of the Interior's standards, that we wait until we get together and maybe have a workshop ourselves or something, because then we'd all be on the same page of of how to do that. And one of the outcomes was to try to write very good guidelines, and ours are okay, but they could be improved. So that's a project for down the road a little bit.
I attended that workshop a little earlier than Ginny did.
No,
No,
that was a different one. That was a
another
different
Skelliger,
one.
huh? Yeah.
You
I
did a
attended one
whole-
last night on replacement windows.
Oh, good.
And it was very educational how difficulty they're having with the new tech woods and all that sort of stuff, and how historic districts might need to look better at it and not necessarily require real wood, because the real wood is just rotting out on people so fast that it's just absolutely horrible. So whether you're going to go for the look or you're going to go for the quote old-fashioned requirement of replacement wood, the woman last night went into Dutchman repair of windows and all this sort of stuff. It was really good. But all it boils down to is how much is the person willing to do, and when the neglect has been in there in the first place, it's hard to repair the neglect. So
Good.
Oh, and another new thing, or old thing, I guess. I'm wondering if it's time to poke the monster on Summer Ave, since we haven't poked them for, what, 6 months now, I think? Well, Historical Commission poked them in September. Does that sound right? Historical Commission friends?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes.
but they didn't do their walkthrough, did they?
No, he told us that he had to rebid everything. And so, and he said it was going to take, I don't know, months.
What did you say? Reread everything?
Rebid. He was looking for
rebid.
new bids on everything.
He's always got an excuse.
Yeah. So, I think the time that did you find it, Pino? When he said that he would know something?
I'm gonna look at my email for the letter.
They met, I know they were at the Historical Commission, I think it was like October 22nd. And at that time they mentioned the bidding, and then I think they provided a letter after that, which was discussed at a meeting after that, which I'm not sure which date though.
Yeah, because they said, believe it or not, friends, that they have been constantly making repairs to the house. And so we said, oh yeah, when was that? And then they sent us a letter that had dates. But I don't know, has anybody gotten by lately and noticed whether that pergola is still unstable?
But it still had the wood up when I went by about, I think 5 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago. I forget to look sometimes because I just don't like to look at the property anymore.
So do we think we want to poke them again?
Yeah, November. Jonathan's letter was November. Geez.
I will go by and check to see if that's still being propped up.
Because I think at the time they said, oh no, we were not aware of that. We will get on
Yeah,
it.
I will check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring that up at our historical and then see what they say, and then maybe this commission can kind of send the same kind of letter just to do something.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan and I had agreed that we'd hit them instead of simultaneously and tag on to with the historical commission, we'd hit them alternating 6 months. You know, they were going to schedule a walkthrough. Then 6 months later, we want to walk through too, so that they were getting 2 contacts, not just 1. So a longer stick and more fire on the end of it, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, we'll bring it up at in 2 weeks.
Okay, so minutes. Is that what's next?
Does anyone want me to project the minutes or do you all have copies?
I can
I
do
have
it
copies.
with them simultaneously if you want. I can screen share it and edit them while you talk about them. Just give me 1 minute. Do you want to do them in a chronological order? So start with the September minutes?
Sure, yeah, let's do September first.
Okay. All right. Have you all had a chance to review them in advance, or do you need me to scroll slowly, or you're reviewing them now?
I'm
I have
reviewing
one-
them now.
You could delete my name from present because I was not present, but I'm listed under not present, but I'm also listed under present.
Okay, so you're not present.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it for me because I
Okay.
looked at this one.
Looks like there's a dropped comma after Justin LeBlanc under others present.
Yeah, and Nicole.
Yep.
In the red print, it says members present / BOT. What's BOT?
It means,
I think it's not present.
yeah.
because
Oh,
the-
not present. Okay, fine.
Oh, well, so that's what we're doing right now, verifying that. So I will delete
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it'd be hard from the Zoom to tell who's there.
Shall we just move along and do them as we get there?
Under 150 West Street, Mr. Y stated that they were looking to add a second floor to part of the building. I should be added to that. A portion of the building.
If you just go up to that last sentence in the previous section, after Carl's name, it says in case, like it's one word. And then under 150 West Street, the second paragraph, Mr. Blodgett read the legal notice and opened the discussion instead of.
Yeah, there's something missing in there. I also said that the project fell under the jurisdiction of the commission. From my notes.
There's a typo in that sentence too for, it says discussion up to the reset. I think it should be rest of the members.
And then in the next sentence, it ends and didn't make sense. The first, Mr. Blodgett said the application proposes that the material would. I have no idea what that's supposed to say.
I don't,
Maybe the material was supposed to be, or asked if the material was wood.
Oh,
Yes,
it could be
Yes.
wood.
Supposed to be wood like this.
Yeah.
yes.
Like application proposes that the material. Is that true for this application? Do you remember? It's a second floor addition, right? So probably it's wood.
Yes, it is wood. So I think that's right.
Okay. This is the material. This is just an awkward sentence.
It is.
I'll think about it.
Proposes that the use of wood or something.
I really don't know.
But
what
the
was-
addition will be constructed out of wood.
There you go.
Okay. Or wood construction.
Yeah, that's better.
and stop there. Mr. Adams wasn't there, it was Ms. Adams. There.
And that sentence also is missing some words, I think. If the front windows would be replaced and if the current siding, what the current siding material is.
It's fine, yeah. Yeah, the shutter thing.
That next sentence about the awnings, does it mean if the awnings, if the owners don't decide to use shutters? It's not going as in with matching, but going as in choosing?
I think so. I remember this conversation.
That addition, by the way, is well up. It's all closed in and everything. It's actually smaller than it appeared on the plans.
On the motion, did we waive the hearing at that point?
It doesn't say that. It does on the next one. I think we did right after that. We kind of said that, or I said that.
I think that, yeah, it was
included a
probably
waiver.
part of the motion, wasn't it?
It should be part of the motion. I don't know that it happened that way, but it should be.
Hmm. Good. (218) West Street. It says install a fence, 6-foot vinyl fence. So take out the first word fence. Mhm. And the paragraph near the cursor, Ms. Friedman asked if the fence was just is it I think I shape is wrong.
But I think it was.
What is this?
L
L
shape.
shape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it wasn't enclosed, but he wants to keep his kid inside using it. So that's why I asked.
Yeah.
I remember that one too.
Julie, you have a toddler. Will that work? Answer no.
I do have a toddler, so I remember these things. Yeah. And my toddler would just climb right over it anyway. Like, it'd have to be the 7-foot fence. to stop her. We could never live in a historic district.
Oh, come on.
Just in a historic house.
Well, I don't have any more in this set of minutes.
I do.
Okay.
A little further on. Okay, right there.
Oh wait, sorry.
Nope.
Sorry.
Okay, stop. Mr. Blodgett shared some information. Okay, at the last, the word rearranging the board, it should say commission, way down. Okay, that's fine. Good, Julie. Okay. And then I have one.
Go ahead,
Go
Jen.
ahead.
No.
One final one under adjournment. It was seconded by Ms. Adams, and just take out the, reverse the by there. It was seconded by Ms. Adams.
And
take
adjourned
out
at what
that
time? Does anybody know the time?
one. Oh, yeah.
We probably don't at this point.
Mm.
That's all I had.
All right, anyone else on this one? So I
Sorry, I'll
guess
stop.
we'll just table the motion and do all of them at the end. Okay, I think the next one is 11-4.
Yep, let me grab that. Okay, so these again need to be verified. And Amelia, do you like to have the word Devon, your middle name?
I do. I use it.
Do you have it hyphenated like that?
I'm looking at the September meeting minutes right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Didn't.
Nope, I didn't adjust the screen share. Hold on 1 second. I didn't realize it wasn't gonna automatically show you what I was looking at. All right, try that.
Yeah, I don't use a hyphen. Just
you don't. Okay, so I'll
thank
fix
you.
that from tonight that I wrote.
And Pino, you're under both present and absent.
Yep,
or not
I was present.
So take them off the not present list.
Got it.
Uh, 146 Summer Ave. They stated that, I think it should be they instead of their. We're looking.
Yeah, you're right.
So we don't know who made the motion to waive the public hearing and issue a certificate of appropriateness for 146 Summer Ave. It should be Summer Ave, not street. Anybody know who made the motion?
I think it was,
Any name will do.
I think it was Eileen, but I couldn't find my notes.
I probably have it in my notes, but I don't have them with me. If you want, I can check.
No, I think we're all right. And the paragraph above that, Mr. Sabatello, and it talks about the previous project. That was the deck on the garage. I'm not sure it shouldn't say that.
Okay.
It's right below the cursor, right in there someplace. It should
Yeah.
say.
It was a deck, right?
Deck over the garage.
Right. Was it 2000? That was more recently than that, no?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Maybe,
I,
I just say recently.
it wasn't that long. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's it's a half a century ago.
Recent is fine, recent.
That's all I had, unless there's something in there that I didn't see.
No, the minutes are under minutes in the approval. A little further.
Sorry, I'm
That's all right.
being the daughter of an English teacher.
Okay, you can stop now. All the minutes say to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and it should be the Historic District Commission.
You just say the commission, right?
Yeah.
You can see that she also does minutes for the ZBA.
Mhm.
Oh, one more.
Yep.
A lot of minutes that night, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we were under the, we got blocked out, and then all of a sudden things got into the Zoom meetings, and they never got approved, I guess.
Wait, I had a question. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead. I'm on the next one already.
Let me pull that up and screen share it. 1 second. That's the December 9th.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Carl, I don't know whether you're still awake or not, but were you present or not present as a member on that December 9th?
I believe I was not present.
Okay, so down at the third paragraph down, it says,
That's
Mr.
right.
Blodgett moved. Okay, so it wasn't you. Some other member did it, huh?
Or was it just a me?
No, I think that's from her last one,
This
her
is
last
September.
minutes when she
Yeah.
wrote that.
Do we need to put this in case thing, or can we just?
No,
Yeah.
so I think you can take that whole thing out. Just leave it as,
Yep.
okay.
Can't remember.
I think on 168 West Street, Mr. Maganzini, sorry, I think we should say that he recused himself and then briefly described his project. He recused himself from voting. Mhm.
In that second paragraph under 168 West Street, what material would be used? I think it should be instead of would be used. And in the next paragraph, we're missing a parenthesis, or rather an apostrophe after applicants.
Sorry. Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
This is the one where we did the motion for the no public hearing, to waive the public hearing and notify the abutters in two separate motions. And so the second part there, it says on a motion made by Mr. Blodgett and seconded by Mr. DeRazio, to waive the public hearing and notify abutters. Sounds a little odd. Sounds like we're waiving both the public hearing and to waive the notifying of the abutters. To me, it's what it sounds like.
Is that what, did you waive the notification of abutters, or
We
did you?
waived the public hearing and therefore there
Yeah.
is a notification of
Yes.
the abutters. Yeah.
Okay. It's a little opposite from the way we do things for other.
I know.
Yeah, but no, I understand. And went forward. The notification to abutters. Is that correct?
You know, that's better. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
The next sentence down, again at the last word, it should be commission instead of board. From Mr. Blodgett. Oops.
Oh, right here. Okay.
There,
Yep.
yeah, there you go. Mhm.
Anybody remember what that man's first name was? O'Connor?
No, but I can find it for you.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
I'm sure I have it written down somewhere too.
What's that?
We lost you. Oh no, you're back.
I don't know if I can find it that fast.
Are we
Just a
good?
couple of comments on the window thing that I went to. Greg, you might want to hear this. Have you had your windows done yet?
Yes, yeah, they're all done. They look fantastic.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion at the meeting about the new trend of white siding with black windows.
Mhm.
And they were very skeptical. I don't mean to put scare into you that the black wasn't going to absorb more heat and deteriorate faster. So you might get ready to replace those windows sooner than you expected, is what seemed to come out of the conversation.
I will
At the
on warranty, so that's fine.
yeah. The same thing under Mr. O'Connor's windows, and I think that's the Coolidge Tilton house up here, the brick one.
Yeah.
That again, and I think we've done this kind of correctly right here with Greg's and Mr. O'Connor's, that there's a difference on whether you're replacing a replacement window or you're replacing an original window. And Mr. O'Connor's are original windows. He's not been back to tell us what he's going to do. And he is the owner because he was involved at the time 186 was coming into big discussion. And he was quite critical several of us on how we handled 186 summer out. And yet he's the one who let the windows deteriorate, I think, because basically they deteriorate over a long period of time, but now he wants to put replacement windows in, and it's just really hard. There was a lot of good discussion about keeping the originals. Meetings that I've been to.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 30th, November 4th, and December 9th as amended.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Somebody second it?
I'll second it.
All right, so Amelia,
Yes.
Everett,
Yes,
Greg,
Yes.
I read.
and I'll vote yes. So 4-0.
Great. You guys want to approve your minutes from tonight? I don't know if
Oh,
I don't know if that's out of school. But they're ready.
Sure, let's do it. So next time we'll have to do the January 26th, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still a couple. Let me just share them with you real quick. And there's a couple things I didn't catch that you said, so this is good because I'm here and you can tell me. Let's see.
I'll exempt myself out. I can't remember.
Go up to the top. Here we are.
I'm good on this page.
You guys could, I can move down page 2. And so I highlighted what I missed, what you said, Virginia.
Oh,
So when you
have to
get,
see what
That paragraph again, a lot above the yellow highlighting. Whether the facade projects or is on the same plane, in the same. I think it should be on.
Virginia, do you remember what you were talking about? Was it the, we don't have jurisdiction if the cars can see it, or the traffic?
No, I don't.
That,
I think just erase it. It's irrelevant.
I wish I hadn't missed it because I thought it was like going to be educational for me.
Yeah, I was aiming for that probably.
Date and all that. I'm like, oh, I gotta. But I couldn't follow it all at the same time as typing.
Somebody wanted to know Mr. O'Connor's first name is David.
I'll add that into the minutes.
Yeah, no big deal.
I'm good on this page.
You guys good? Let's scroll down a little. And Everett, there were some things here that you said that I didn't.
I mumbled.
Well, it was like exactly how you explained it to the applicant, like the pretzel feelings of twisting and.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really necessary either to do.
In the paragraph above the yellow at the end, it just says my name, but whatever I said, you could just delete. I don't remember what it said.
Sorry. I'm trying to think of what you said. I think you said you were having the
Go
same.
ahead, Jill.
I think
Yeah,
you like basically
covered
agree with that sentiment. Yeah.
I think it's better if we wait about a month to go over these because we can't even remember what we said an hour ago.
Yeah, and for us that have long-term memory loss or short-term memory loss, it's really bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we can. All right, let's punt it to next time then.
Well, no, that's fine. I
No.
was kind of joking the fact that we don't have recall on it.
I have
think
mom brain, so if I don't do it right now, I will not remember it in a month.
No, that's why I'm saying we don't remember at all.
Well, wait another 50 years and then you might,
Yeah.
remember.
So we're going to take out the rest of what Everett said in yellow.
Just eliminate the yellow.
Okay.
I guess it's the easiest. And furthermore, I'm yellow colorblind, so I can't even see that.
You can probably scroll a little. Anyone still reading on this page?
All set.
Nope, right.
Oh, no, not me again. Try somebody else. There's not even a clue in there, Julie.
It was that might have been when my daughter came. No, I don't remember. There was one thing I completely missed.
And I think it should say in the paragraph underneath that Mr. Lloyd said he wants to allow a commission decision so that the commission can understand discussions. So it should be commission, not board.
I said
Oh,
broad.
broad, sorry. I got you.
You
Sorry.
got it.
Sorry.
Yep. That's what you were getting at.
Again, take out the, nothing I said was that important anyway. And I do remember what I said there now that I think about it, but it wasn't important. So take it out, keep it out. It's when I talked about the fact that we brought in a 60-inch TV.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I couldn't see it because it was too close.
I have no memory of that, so
Good.
that must have been when my daughter came in.
I have a big memory of it. The box was too big and I ripped my leather armchair on a
Oh,
staple, on the staple in the box.
Mm.
I spit shined it with Oxford shoe shine. I'm all set on that page.
Yeah, I'm good.
There's no hyphen in Amelia's name.
Oh yeah, I meant to change that. Sorry. I'll go through and change that after you adjourn.
Kettle of worms.
And that's what I said, and she caught it.
I thought it was funny.
Sorry. Up at the very top of that page, it says Mr. Everett.
Oh, sorry.
She's,
I just for
she's really
consistency.
getting some.
Yeah,
She's
I
getting familiar.
almost did that a bunch of times actually. So, I say I did it once.
Anyone still going on this one?
I'm all set.
All set.
Good.
A few more paragraphs here at the bottom.
These long meetings. Wow.
Okay. Oh yeah, Amelia, you make that motion?
No, because I was grumpy then. So
Did I do it? Or, I don't think I did that one.
I think I made the motion.
Everett made it. Yeah.
You know what I'll do? I'll try to be consistent. Oh, but you seconded Everett, so you can't.
No, I didn't second it. Somebody else did.
I think I seconded it.
Okay, thanks. All right.
So. Yeah, that's who's in favor. Okay, fine.
Oh, it says PO instead of PD right after seconded.
Sorry. Good catch. You guys, I'll scroll down.
That paragraph right before minutes has only one word in the sentence.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something. Oh right, I remember what I was gonna say. To send a follow-up letter, right?
Well, we agreed to discuss it with the historical commission and then reassess at our April 21st meeting.
Okay, all right. Yeah, obviously did not catch that. So
Pino actually said that, yeah. And I said I'd go by the property. I don't think it's necessary to be in the notes, but I will.
Yeah, you don't want to place yourself by the property. Who knows what, you don't want to.
I'm going to be on the public sidewalk.
Happens.
With a telescopic lens.
yeah, I'm gonna leave that part out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, anyone can do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And hyphenated under
Oh,
Amelia's name again. Which we're picking.
All right, so I will make a motion to approve these minutes, March 31st. Any seconds?
Well, she's got me down in seconds, so I'll second it. So she won't have to change it.
All right, votes: Amelia,
Yes.
Everett,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Pino, yes. All right, and I'll make a motion to adjourn. Seconds.
Second.
Greg, second. Vote: Amelia,
Yes.
Everett,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
10:39. Excuse me, 9:39.
Okay.
All right.
See you soon, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so efficient, Julie.
All right.
Yeah, that's great.
Too efficient, Julie.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
See everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.